we got to get right with our brothers and sisters. Sometimes some of us will take our Black Lives Matter stuff, but Black Lives Matter begins at home.
Suzan-Lori Parks, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me today.
Thank you. Thanks, Kaila.
We're here to talk about one of your latest creations, Genius Aretha.
The people of the world hereby crown you Queen of Soul.
You told this story so beautifully, so authentically. I have to know, what was the most challenging part about architecting this series?
Thank you, Kaila. It's choosing what to include. We have 8 hours, which is very generous. The mandate is to tell the story of Aretha Franklin's life through the lens of genius.
My father said, come on home.
So that made it a lot easier because I combed through piles and mountains of research to find moments in her life where she demonstrated her genius. And also, what is genius, actually? Because if you think of Einstein, okay, genius, a scientist, E equals MC squared, or Picasso, oh, great, a painter. And a lot of people say, well, is Aretha Franklin really a genius? And then I thought, okay, great. So we get to expand the definition of genius. You know what I mean? So genius is someone who, in Aretha's case, can take the difficulties of their life and alchemize them into the gold that we will listen to forever. Somebody who can bring different people together for a greater good, like she did in Muscle Shoals with those white guys she hadn't met. She was going to make soul music with them. What? You know what I mean? But it was 1967, and she was a Black American woman, and she didn't know those guys. And it was Alabama. Segregation now, segregation forever, Alabama, right? So it gave us an opportunity to expand the definition of genius. And I think that could be very helpful for the world that we live in today.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And I am so glad you got 8 hours to tell this story, because those 2-hour films just do not do justice like they should. I mean, this is a true story about a legendary Black woman, written and produced by a Black woman. And I think that is just so powerful. Can you talk a little bit about the impact that Black content creators have on the film and theater industry?
Yeah, I think we have a great responsibility to put respect on the names of the people that we're talking about. We also have I would suggest, a great responsibility to respect those who we're working with. Because a lot of times, we got to get right with our brothers and sisters. Sometimes some of us will take our Black Lives Matter stuff, but Black Lives Matter begins at home, as far as I'm concerned. And we got to recognize that. Just because you're from a different neighborhood doesn't mean I can disrespect you. I think it's very important for us to advocate that these stories be told, in a way that is not just kowtowing to the desires of the man. A lot of people have a warm and fuzzy feeling when they think about Black stories because they like them told in a certain kind of way, and some of us will gladly tell those stories in that certain kind of way. Why? Ka-ching, right? It's marketable, it's profitable. And we need to be encouraged to step away from that trough. And because at the end of the day, if we're telling stories about ourselves in a way that the man wants to hear them, we are just feeding ourselves lies. But not in the case of Genius Aretha. We are embracing this beautiful sister, Aretha Franklin. We are honoring her from the very first day in the writer's room. I told the writers, we serve the Queen. We weren't in service of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We were in service of the Queen, to that higher power that had brought us all together, which was Aretha Franklin, and then higher than her, the Great Spirit,
Yes, absolutely. And was there anything that surprised you about Aretha's life that you didn't know before while you were making this?
Her sense of humor, I think, when it's tense, with those white guys in episode 1, she'll start making jokes, to hear that she, from Clive Davis, the music mogul, who worked with her for many years, that she loved jokes. She loved having a good time, that female exuberance, that Black American woman, female exuberance that she had so much of. So it wasn't all just, singing those soul songs. She was having a good time. The joy she had in life, I loved hearing more about and discovering her activism.
You got to disturb the peace when you can't get no peace.
I'd heard about it, but really dig in there. I mean, the fact that she rode with Dr. King like they were outlaws, but she rode the buses with him. She contributed out of her own pocket to support the SCLC and various other civil rights causes, like other stars of the day. Harry Belafonte also did, which Joan Baez did also. Righteous folks from all kinds of folks. But she also supported Angela Davis. And Angela Davis wasn't no mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Angela Davis was like, what?
I was gonna say the same thing. That for me, that it was the activism piece, and that was actually my favorite episode. Was the 5th episode, Young, Gifted, and Black, where it really delved into her support of the Black community and her involvement in social justice. Were there any specific emotions or feelings that filled the room as you were writing that episode?
The moments where she doesn't get along with Jerry Wexler.
Well, you only got 3 chords?
I will make him sound like $1 million.
I mean, that's a bold moment. And the Studio Network, Nat Geo, and Imagine, they were very supportive of those moments, even though it didn't show her being the smiling Aretha Franklin that we're all supposed to know. No. Right. She was a woman with very strong opinions, and they really supported that. They're like, let's see her be less than happy all the time.
Right.
I was very grateful that they would be okay with that. I mean, grateful, but also not grateful. I was like, good. I mean, I'm not grateful, but I appreciated that I didn't have to explain it too much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could just say, like, as a Black American woman in the entertainment business, I know where she's coming from on a certain kind of level, So this is authentic stuff. This is coming from a real place. And I appreciated that I didn't have to explain too much, They kind of got it right away. Yeah.
Right. You're running the show, so they have no choice but to say whatever you want.
They understood it, they understood where it was coming from, because again, I was serving the Queen and they were in line with that. So we had a very good working relationship. Yeah.
That's amazing. And not for nothing, but as a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright, were there any aspects of theater that you brought into the series?
The construction of a scene, it had to, be tight, the naturalistic dialogue, but also the musicality of natural dialogue, which is sometimes unexpected. In episode 7, where the sisters get in a fight, the love and that drama, that shit be happening, stuff be going down. I mean, that's theatrical, but it's also the stuff of a good television show. And my love of character, my love of people. I think that's what I bring to all my work, to Billie Holiday, The United States versus Billie Holiday, to Genius Aretha, to Top Dog Underdog. My deep love of people, Black American people, any people that I can work in service of their story. I started doing that in theater. I've done it. I've written novels. In everything I do, it's all about that.
Right. Absolutely. And, in doing my research, I realized I've seen so much of your work and didn't even know it was you. Like that's Suzan-Lori Parks. How did I not know that?
I've been working.
Yes. You are a busy woman.
Yeah. A lot of people go, oh, this is your first job on TV. I'm like, nah. Written a lot of movies. Yeah, and the movie business, not everything you write gets made. I've done a lot of work sort of like under the radar. Like I worked on Fast and Furious 9, and I'm going to work on the next Fast and Furious 10, because I love the Fast franchise, and those are some righteous people. Vin and the crew are right on. So, and Michelle and, Michelle Rodriguez. So I do a lot,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap here. I don't want to keep you long, but before we go, Black Music Month is quickly approaching. What is your favorite decade of Black music?
I got like the 70s, P-Funk, Parliament, da-da-da-dee-da-da-da-da. I mean, right? Flag
Love
fight.
it. Great choice. All right. Well, thank you so much, Suzan-Lori, for hanging out with me today. I had a great time.
Thank you, sis, so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Times are changing, and I want to keep changing with it.
You got to disturb the peace when you can't get no peace.
This is what you were meant to do. You just got to flaunt your power.
There will never be another one like me.